Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is VGY. You may know me from, a few tournaments here and there. The best show in MK11. A title I wear very proudly, mind you. But here today, we're going to be doing a guide on Miss Tanya, one of my favorite MK characters. Has come back to MK1 and she is fantastic. She has a load of cool tools which I can't wait to show you guys. And I think, personally, I know it's early, but I think she's a very strong character, so I hope you guys enjoy this guide. Before the guide starts, be sure to follow everything DashFight. Give them a like, give them a comment, a subscribe, a follow on Twitter and all their other socials, because they are the best source of FGC information on the market, and I love working with them. Can't wait to do another guide for them today. But yeah, without further ado, let's get the hell in there, shall we? Alright, so basics for Tanya will be the first section of the guide. Let's get straight into it. Firstly, her game plan, pretty simple really, is going to be just base control and footsies and just whiff punish because of the fact of her sweep, her forward 2 and her standing 3. It obviously has more buttons than that, but those 3, you could win a game with just those. They're that good. Sweep, good frames on block, gives a knockdown. Forward 2, good frames on block, and is a mid that's obviously can go into strings, which have a a mix up at the end, or can be hit confirmed into a special, like so. And standing 3 speaks for itself. Look how far that goes. It's a high, but like, what is that? Look how far that is. Insane button, which can obviously also be cancelled into specials. Cancel it into projectile, EX projectile, drill if you know that you've whiff punished, like so. For some decent damage. So there, those 3 are going to be the pillar of your offense, and those 3 buttons are going to be what you're going to spam the most, in addition to your down 3. Your down 3 is really good. Special moves that she has, key ones that complement this. Obviously she has drill. Drill going full screen, pretty much. So it's always a threat in neutral, no matter what. If she EXs it, she obviously gets a launch off of it, which is obviously really good. And drill is drill. That's as simple as it gets. It's just a great move. The fact it goes as far as it does, it's always a threat, and also it gives a good launch and is very versatile in the way that it does launch, especially with cameos now, because you can do stuff like this. The Goro cameo, which is a meterless 27%, which is really, really strong. So that's drill. You've obviously got projectile as well. So normal is a high, does 6%, pretty good. You can cancel it off with like range stuff like this. It is a high, so do be careful. But the amplified version is a mid that does 9%, knocks down, and also eats other projectiles, which is really strong. So if you do stuff like this, if I put Sub-Zero on block here, -1. I think up close it'll probably be unsafe. I can double check. I've not loved this specifically. Yeah, so -9, but it's not bad, it's not terrible, but like at range is when you're going to want to use this. And it also has an obviously an air version, which you can instant air like that to make it really good on block and just provide a neutral threat at this kind of range, kind of like Cabal Buzzsaw from MK11, if you remember that. You can also amplify this and it gives you a launch, which is really strong. Like that. Very, very, very good. Yeah, as you can see, her neutral game is insane. She has projectiles, she has buttons, like you can see here. She also has a parry, which I didn't mention, but that doesn't really help. It's a good parry, but parries are obviously very, what's the word? Situational. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, use that at your direct discretion. And obviously her last move is her spin kicks. This is also her armored reversal and is also her quintessential combo ender. Very well animated move, I must say. If you want to do a simple combo like this, you can just end it in that. Gives you really good Oki for a forward 2. But yeah, that's her game plan, her special moves that aid that. Some good buttons. And yeah, let's move on to the next section, which will be an in-depth look at her kit. Alright, so in this section we're going to be going over what are you going to do for offense and defense? What's going to be the go-to? What's going to be your essentially your way in and your way to defend. So starting with defense, you've obviously got your parry. So if I set Sub-Zero to, let's say, dash and do forward one, right? If I parry, you see it doesn't parry both. So what you have to do is you have to parry each individual hit. And each parry gives you a buff stack, as you can see behind Tanya. You see that? Like that. And a lot of strings you can punish by doing this, like so. So that's really good. Your parry will help you at up close range. Only parries highs and mids. So remember that. Another useful defensive tool you can have is obviously she has her buff, which is down forward 3. When she's at 2 charges of her buff, so to do that you just hold the 3 button. When she's at 2 charges of her buff, she gets a teleport, her classic teleport, which can be useful for getting out of situations. So if you're defending, and let's say you landed down 1, like that, you can get out of the corner, let's say, if you're cornered, which is really nice. Because if I put him on auto block here, excuse me, like that, if I hit him with his down 1 after the buff, and I want to do, let's say, my mid string, I'm out of the corner and I hit a jump kick and I'm +4, which is really good. And then I can set up my neutral game, get my projectile game out, you know, that kind of thing. She also has a really good down 2, really good down 2. And so this down 2 is insane. Her down 3 is also really good for defense. So if you're trying to stop anyone aggressing on you and just check them, also gives you a throw, gives you a mid pressure because it's, you know, very plus on hit. And obviously, like we said before, your sweep goes so far. This is also another tool to stop aggressors. Like, look how good that is. Insane sweep. And obviously this can be enhanced with assists, you know, obviously you're standing 3 as well. Like you can do stuff like, if I put him on block here, I can do stuff like standing 3 projectile, which makes the projectile guaranteed, right? Like that's really, really, really strong. So doing stuff like that is definitely something you're going to want to think about. So that's for defense. I'd say those are that's your bread and butter. Offense is pretty much what I described in the opening section, to be honest. Your offense is whiff punishing. I guess that'd be classed as defense. So your offense is just going to be, again, just abuse this mid. It's so hit confirmable. You have so long to hit confirm it. And then obviously do your combo. That's meatless with Goro or Sonya or whoever you choose to pick. It can be anything. But the point is, you just want to spam this mid. The mix-up is you can land a poke or you'll just dash up to them, and then your mix-up will be mid or grab. Or even your triple low that you have back 3-4-4. Which can obviously also be accommodated to cameo, like so. Very, very strong. So your offense is just going to be abusing your really good tools like back 3-4-4, forward 2, sweep, poke, and then grab mix or mid mix. And then, you know, zoning, because you've got the life lead and you can afford to do that. And you've got a mid projectile, you've obviously got this, which you can use for pressure situations as well. She has a lot of good tools and a lot of potential in this regard, so yeah. In a nutshell, your offense is just going to be abusing your mids, abusing your range, and, you know, the strike throw or the triple low that also breaks armor. And make sure you're using your cameos off of this as well. To obviously increase the damage and get some combo potential. And for defense, you just want to poke them out and make sure you're getting your buff active so that if you are in a pinch, you can use your teleport to get out, essentially. Those are the main things I would say you should be doing on defense and offense. Right, so here we are at the cameo select screen. I'm about to go through some really good cameos with Tanya. So, the thing, in my opinion at least, I could be wrong, it's still early, but Tanya, she doesn't really need a cameo because she's really strong in neutral. Like, she can play without a cameo if she wants to. You know, cameos only enhance her. For example, Reiko, right? He is a grappler that wants to get in. I mean, he's like a hybrid, right? But he wants to use characters that help him in neutral or help his grappling potential and his mix when he's up close. Tanya, she's so good in neutral that I think her best strength is her combos in terms of what the cameo wants to do to help her. So for that reason, Sonya, very good selection because she can combo off of meterless drill with Sonya. Goro, she can combo off of meterless drill, and also Frost and Sub, since you know the freezing that they give you allows you to buff up mid combo, which is really nice. But I'd say definitely from what I've seen, the best two are for sure Goro and Sonya, but this could change, you know, because it depends what you want at the end of the day. You could want extra knockdown potential with Sector. You could use Jax for the combos as well. I just think Sonya and Goro are better because Goro provides some pressure as well. If you want to be a bit safer when it comes to your offense, you can use Motaro. There's loads of things you can do, like loads of things you can do here. For my picks, I'd say Goro, Sonya, and then if you would like a freeze character, Frost or Sub-Zero. Alright, so moving on to combos. Pretty simple. Her roots are pretty much the same on every single confirm she has, because they mainly go into drill, right? So off of your jab, for example, you can do standing 1-2 into EX drill, amplify, and then do 1+3 into down back 4. Simple combo, no cameo, 24%, not too bad. She also gets obviously the same thing off of this, for example, her mid, forward 2-1-1. So that right there is forward 2-1-1, excuse me, forward 2-1-1, amplified, back forward 4, 1+3, down back 4 for 28%, not too bad. But you can also add another bit to this combo, so you can do forward 2-1-1, back forward 4, dash up forward 4, and then the same ender as you did before. So that was forward 2-1-1, this, into EX drill, this, into forward 4, into standing 2, 1+3, into the same ender, down back 4. So that was. And then you obviously got cameo specific combos that you can do. So with Goro, for example, or Sonya, you can do the back 3-4-4 like this, into like that. But you can also make it even better by doing back 3-4-4 into cameo, into standing 2, 1+3 like this, into amp back forward 4 into jump kick into this. So the full thing looks a bit like this. Like so. So she has very, very versatile combos, lots of safety with your combos, and her cameos just enhance her combos even more. Obviously these can apply to Sonya as well, so don't just limit it to Goro, but Goro and her are very, very strong. They've got a lot of synergy, so be sure to test your cameos, be sure to test what fits you, and I'd use these combos as kind of like a starting guide or some bread and butter so you can get on your feet and basically start doing damage with Tanya, because she does some damage. She's got very versatile roots that do a lot of damage for not very much execution, which is very, very strong early on. Right, so on to the final section of the guide, which will be Tanya's strengths and weaknesses. So strengths I've obviously already been over. Insane neutral control with these buttons, projectile, instant air projectile. Obviously you've got the strength of, you know, triple low, for example, which armor breaks, which you can obviously confirm into a cameo, like so, for really big damage. And the fact that as well that she just seems really safe. Like a lot of her frames are good. Like she doesn't have bad frames, which is really nice. Really good movement, as we said before, like that. And that's just a basic wave dash. That's not like a maximum speed one, which I could be doing. I've slowed that down a lot. But that, yeah, those are her strengths. Weaknesses is that she doesn't really have like any, like up close, if you're getting pressured, her downfall's quite lackluster. Her down one hasn't got the greatest range. It's got pretty good range, but it's like it's a bit stubby. Like you can see there, like that's not connecting, even though it looks like it should. And it doesn't give the most range. It's plus 12, which is obviously enough for your standing 2 and your 1-2, but if you're not on point with that, you can get mashed out of, which is a shame. And obviously they can armor your mid because obviously it's 14 frames. So if you do this into this, they can armor that. So be careful of that. And also your stubby down 4 doesn't do you any favors. you kind of just want to be around this range, right, where I'm standing. If you're around here, it's not great because you then have to back up and you can get caught backing up and it's not great. But apart from that, I think generally she's a very strong character early on. At least those are my impressions early on, should I say. And she seems really good. But yeah, that's what I'd say are her strengths and weaknesses. Mainly strengths, like I say, I think she's quite strong. We'll have to see with time, honestly. It's really early, so it's hard to say. But yeah, those are my thoughts on her strengths and weaknesses. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the guide, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, what should you put? Golden Ninja in the comments, so I know you made it to the end. I don't know, I tried to think of something quirky and I couldn't, so I apologize. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the guide. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to drop a subscribe and a comment for DashFight, the lovely people over there, because they are just the best, and it's an honor to be making more guides for them, and I couldn't wait to do it again. And yeah, I'm so glad to be back making stuff for you guys. So make sure you support, like the video to let them know you want to see more VGY and more MK1 character guides. But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys in the next guide that I make. See you guys in a bit. Have a good one.